What is up everybody, Scratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are a bit late with today's video guys because I really wanted to focus on the 4.2 highlights. I was not at home and they dropped all the news, so that's why we're a bit late, but here we are. So probably a lot of you guys already know it, some of you might not know it, but the highlight of this patch guys, the highlight of the video is not stage 25 on dungeons, it's not the new champion that we're gonna get because we got no information regarding that yet. The highlights are Wurlim, V6 and a bunch of other useless void champions are finally getting a buff. Some of them they got a slight rework, but I can finally say I'm the proud owner of Wurlim and V6 without having a salty taste in my mouth afterwards. But we're gonna have a look in a second at those. I just want to specify regarding the champion that we're gonna get through the missions guys. We are probably gonna see something relating that tomorrow. They haven't said that, but I have a feeling that they're gonna make some sort of crazy video and they're gonna drop that on Facebook tomorrow guys. But let's have a quick look at what Plarium has in store for us so far. So update 4.2 highlight guys. The spring was generous, etc, etc. Raid is bringing a lot of updates. Even after the introduction of the new Doom Tower bosses, 4.2 has some significant additions to show off. New dungeon stages, a major void champion balance patch, AI fixes, new champions, you'll see the details in a few days. Okay, check out the highlights below to learn more. Now, regarding the new dungeon stages, guys. This one is simple but pleasant. All dungeons, excluding the Minotaur and Affinity Keeps, are going to get 5 extra stages. So, in the previous video when we talked about it, the way they just worded, and the way I read it as well, and the way I processed the thought, it sounded like the Affinity Keeps won't be getting extra stages, but they actually will. That was just my mistake, the way I processed all the information there. The only thing that's not getting extra stages is the Mino, unfortunately. Artifact dungeon bosses on new stages will have additional passive skills. One will limit turn meter decrease, the other will limit the damage they take from attacks that scale based on target's max HP. No more than 10% of HP will be lost. With that in mind, even tried and tested strategy might need to be adjusted when you venture into the new stages. And don't forget that even basic enemies on the new stages will be stronger. As you'd expect, rewards will scale up as well to match a greater challenge. Now, praise the Lord, if that sounds good, I'm excited. I wanna put my hands on better gear. Please remove the rare gear from there, remove the 5-star gear from there, or do something to be worth it, because at the moment, out of 1,000, I'm selling 998 or 999. It doesn't feel good. It feels terrible. It feels bad. It feels sad that I'm trying to farm gear and all I'm getting is silver. But moving over to the Void Champions Rebalance, guys. We've gone through our Void Champion roster and made a number of significant changes to ensure they perform better in battles. Most of these changes are buffs through skills. Those skills were reworked, sorry. V6. So what I'm gonna do guys, I'm gonna put the game on the screen, we're gonna look at the champions, and I do have another file on the right monitor where I'm gonna read and I'm gonna explain you what changed rather than read all this text without having any information to process on which skills actually changed. Of course, we are gonna start with the most wanted buff champion in here, V6. She finally got a buff, right? Like, she was so bad before. Honestly, some guys, they might be like, no, she wasn't that bad. Well, probably you haven't tried enough champions in the game to say that she wasn't that bad. I know she looks amazing, design-wise, 10 out of 10. But unfortunately, she was pretty useless for the game. So now what changed on her, guys? She actually got a pretty good buff. I'm actually pretty happy with what they've done with her. On the A1, instead of decreasing the turn meter by 10%, we're going to decrease the turn meter by 15% with each hit, bringing that up to a total of 30%. On the A2, Sinister Allies, what they've done here, they kept the decreased speed on all enemies, right? 100% chance to decrease speed, but then they added a ally protection on all allies instead of this shield. So she's not going to place the shield anymore, she's going to land ally protection on all the team. This one right here got completely reworked, guys. So what's gonna happen on this skill, she's gonna place provoke AoE on all the enemies, right? So it's not a 75% chance, it's not a 50% chance, it's a 100% chance to provoke on a void champion. So that means that we're gonna provoke everybody. We're gonna get resisted time to time because it's the 3% chance and you might not have enough accuracy to provoke everybody. But V6, guys, finally she got some sort of a use. Now, that's about it. The aura didn't change for her, so she still has the faction Crypts aura. But rather than that, I'm pretty happy with the change V6 got. I'm gonna 6-star one, I'm gonna use one 100% from here on. Moving over to the next champion that needed a buff badly. Even though for this faction, he wasn't that bad. But overall in the game, he was pretty bad. Is Plarium, guys. Now probably tomorrow you will be seeing a video with me and Ash talking about some of the champions in the game. And we actually ended up in talking about him. But the video was recorded actually yesterday, was meant to drop today, but because of these highlights, I said we're gonna put that video out tomorrow. So you might be a bit confused with Plarium because we were not aware of the buffs that they're gonna be changed on him, but we talked a bit about it here and there. So basically, what changed on him, guys? Let me just find the skill. Winds of Winter, right? So what changed here is like this. Places a Veil buff on the ally with the lowest HP for 1 turn if the target resisted the freeze debuff. So if somebody's gonna resist my freeze, he's gonna place a Veil buff on the ally with the lowest HP for 1 turn. Additionally, the duration of the perfect Veil buff if freeze was applied has been increased to 2 turns instead of 1. Just so you guys know that. Then moving over to the second skill, Frostbite Blast. This actually got a really nice buff here. So it's still gonna be on a 3-turn cooldown here, but it's in the next way. Places a 50% decreased accuracy debuff alongside the 30% decreased crit damage. These debuffs cannot be resisted. This is gonna be huge for the Doom Tower to have decreased accuracy and decreased crit damage on the enemy team without needing accuracy, guys. That's gonna be super badass. And you can build him in the way with 0 accuracy. He does deal pretty good damage as well, Plarium, but he's always gonna place a Veil because you're gonna give him no accuracy. That freeze is not gonna land unless that 3% chance comes in play, and then you'll always be placing a Veil on the team, and you have this unresistible. Then this one, Icegraver Armor, is the thing that I've been asking for so long. Decrease the cooldown by 1 turn. Make him a clan boss god. And that kind of happened, guys. Now, unfortunately, because of this, he's not gonna be necessarily the best on clan boss unless you manual with a vizier or something to make sure he's not using this skill to land the debuffs, and you're just making use of this for a few turns, and then you leave it on auto once you fill up the poison bar on the boss, right? But this is gonna go on a 3-turn cooldown. Super excited. We're gonna have strengthen and increased defense from a single champion on the same skill on all the team. That's gonna be great. Now, they changed his aura. I'm a bit still disappointed with the aura because it's in the next way. Increases ally defense by 40% in Doom Tower battles instead of arena. I really wish they would have kept it 30 or 27 and just make it in all battles. It would have been much better for clan boss, dungeons, just around to actually be able to use the champion. But that's Plarium, guys. Moving over to the next champion is Soulless. He got a bit of a buff, to say like this. Nothing too crazy, honestly, but he got a bit of a buff. So his base speed is 87 here. It got up by 10. So his base speed is going to be 97 instead. They increase his defense. Defense increased to 120. Up from 105. Whatever that means. I'm a bit lost here. I guess they increase his defense with 120 more there. Because that really doesn't make sense. Then attack decreased to 70. Down from 85. What does that mean? Like, honestly, I'm confused. I'll put it on the screen. Maybe you guys understood that better. But do drop that in the comments down below if you understood it better. Because looking at the stats, nothing says defense increased to 120, up from 105. Attack decreased to 70, down from 85. Like, he doesn't have anything similar in the stats here. So, I'm honestly a bit lost. A bit lost. Not sure exactly what that means. But yeah. Then, Reign of Terror, okay, and Wave of Despair. Multipliers slightly decreased to fit the changes to his defense stats. So he actually was able to deal pretty good damage. Now, unfortunately, they lowered down a bit his multipliers. I think they kind of got worried that he might be dealing tons and tons of damage, or I'm not sure exactly why they've done it, but it doesn't feel like it's enough on him, honestly. I still don't feel like the buffs they gave him are good enough. I still don't think he's... Wow. I still wouldn't like to pull him to select this. I don't have him. I don't want him. Hopefully, I'll never see him. Then, that was it for legendaries, guys. I am disappointed. We don't have a Baron in here. We don't have a Innate with Bloodwind. We don't have other champions that kind of needed a buff. But hopefully, they're gonna change something on them as well in the next couple of months, because they are really needed, guys. Then we have Exemplar. Now, I gotta find her faction, because honestly, I kind of forgot. She might be high elves, but I'm not 100% sure. There she is, yeah. So, Exemplar. What she got changed is High Stance, which is this one. No, High Stance is the A1. Effect added. If the first hit is critical, it will increase one of the target's skills cooldown by 2 turns. If the target is under a weakened debuff at a time, it will increase the skills cooldown to maximum. That's actually pretty good for Eternal Dragon, for example. With this right here, if you have weaken on that boss, you're gonna be able to increase every single cooldown of his skill there. And he's on the A1, you don't really need to have accuracy on her. Pioneer Attack. What we got here? Debuff chance increased to 70, up from 50. So attacks 3 times at random. Each hit fully booked will have a 100% chance to place a weakened debuff for 2 turns. Pretty good. And then Capture. Cooldown decreased to 4 turns, down from 5. So attacks one enemy, 100% chance to place a freeze debuff. Moving over to the next champion, guys, we have Rowan from the Banner Lords. So what changed on her? She's gonna become a more viable poisoner. So right here, Blade Surge attacks one enemy 4 times. Each hit fully booked has a 100% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns, and that will be on a 3-turn cooldown. So that means that she's gonna be capable to compete with Eotar and champions like that. Now, the only good thing about it is that they're not random hits, so you can still run her, for example, with a Xavia as a poison detonation, with a Karam. That's the change on Rowan. The next one is Towering Titan. Honestly, he was pretty useless as a champion. I never really found the use for him. I had him like on a secondary account, but I never really got to play him because he didn't look that great. So basically what changed on him is damage based on HP, damage based on HP as well here, but will attack 4 times at random, places a provoke debuff on the first hit, has an additional 50% chance to place a provoke debuff on subsequent hits. Bullish Vitality. Shield duration increased to 3 turns. When ascended, the skill will grant this champion an extra turn. So places increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Places a 50% continuous heal buff on this champion for 2 turns, as well as a shield equal to 30% of their max HP for 2 turns. But now it got buffed to 3 turns, and he will gain an extra turn from here. Yeah, sounds decent. So you can buff with this and then provoke, basically. Okay. Not bad, not bad. The next one, guys, is Suwei, whatever the F you call her. Firstborn, right? Is she from the Barbarians? I think she got a bit of a nice touch here. So, Utter Rampage is this skill right here. So what happened here, guys? This got a complete rework, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns, I would assume, and that's on a 4-turn cooldown. Fully booked is on a 3-turn cooldown, and fully booked as well, it can go up to 100% chance to place attack down from that skill. Then Deaden Reactions, attacks one enemy before attacking, places a weaken, fully booked, 100% chance. This will get decreased down, instead of 4-turn cooldown fully booked, down to 3-turn cooldown fully booked. And we have defense down on the A1. She's gonna be very strong, guys. Like, she probably doesn't have insane multipliers. I haven't tested her, but she has attack down, she has defense down, weaken, and she has increased attack and crit damage if she kills an enemy. So that's not good for the clan boss, but she has all the right debuffs for the clan boss. So I really feel like she's gonna become a very powerful champion for clan boss. Then the next buff on the list, guys. A lot of you are treating this champion with a bit of disrespect, and that's Broadma. I know, he's good for faction wars, it's easy to get from the fusion there, you don't really need crazy champions to fuse him. But what got changed on him is this one right here, fully booked, instead of having a chance of, what was it, 35%, it went up to 45% fully booked. Then This one right here, they added another effect to it, so it fills the thermometer of all allies by 15% as well. I still wish this would have been 30% increased speed rather than 15. I don't know why they haven't done that as well and at the thermometer, but you can have them all the time. And this one right here is still the same, but they decreased the cooldown by 1 turn. So basically, instead of a 5 turn cooldown fully booked, it's gonna be on a 4 turn cooldown. And this one, instead of being for arena, it got changed to faction wars creep the aura. So increases ally defense in faction creeps by 33%. Pretty good, I like it. I am using Broadman in my faction wars. He was actually a huge carry. Moving over to the next champion is the Dwarf. I kind of hate this champion. I just can't stand him for some reason. But they lower his HP, they increase his defense, they increase the chance by 30% chance of landing the heal reduction. They added a defense down here, so 70% chance to land it, 75% chance to land the defense down as long as the target is under a heal reduction. That's kind of everything that changed on him. Will I use him? Probably not. The Fire Knight might need him on the higher stages. We're gonna see about that. Heal reduction might come in play. But rather than that, I still don't like him. It's pretty hard to fit him in the game, honestly. Hopefully, they substantially increase his defense and not just slightly. Because if they gave him 50 more defense, that still makes him pretty useless. Especially on the very high stages of the Fire Knight, 25 for example, right? The next champion, guys, is Whisper. So basically, they haven't changed much on her. But, let's see. Charged Assault, which is this one. They added another effect to it. Will also place a 30% increased crit rate buff on this champion. Then on this skill, they decreased it by 1 turn. So you can land this on a 4 turn cooldown rather than 5. She hits pretty hard. She's not bad, honestly. Now, the next changes they've made, guys, are based on AI. So several champions will see changes to their behavior in auto battles. You can find the comprehensive list below. Siphi the Lost Bride will prioritize the Whirlwind Romance skill in clan boss battles. Tyrant will prioritize his Hellfire Torrent skill in clan boss. Shatterbones will prioritize his Hail skill in the Fire Knight Castle dungeon. Sile of the Drakes will prioritize her Wingbeat Flurry skill when there are 2 or more enemies alive. War Mother will use her Mother stat skill on bosses the target has active bomb debuff, whatever. I feel like some of the grammar they have here is just like next level. Mountain King will always prioritize targets with a block damage buff when using his Regal Force skill. Warlord will no longer use his Orcish Ritual skill in clan boss battles. Robar will use his Wild Swing skills even if there is only one enemy alive. Tyrell will prioritize his Humble skill when fighting the Fire Knight whenever the Cloak of Fire shield is active. Tyrell will no longer use his Preemptive Strike skill in clan boss battles. Elenaril will no longer use her Combat skill if the target has no poison debuffs. Xavia will no longer use her Deadly Catalyst skill if the target has no poison debuffs. And Maneater will target Scavang with his Siphon skill when fighting in the Spider's Den. So basically, Maneater will actually use the A2 to decrease the thermometer on the boss. But these were the changes, guys. I wish that they were going to change a few other champions, but we know that the next thing is coming out pretty soon, so we're gonna have to be happy with what we got so far. Do let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the Void buffs? Which one is your favorite? Are you gonna use any of the champions? What do you think about the AI changes? In the meantime, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe for more content, turn on notifications to see when we upload next. Appreciate all of you watching, and I'll see you all soon on another video. Till then, peace out.